Uh, but concerning the green energy and the green transition, as we all know, this transition means a very huge, demands a huge investment for all ports. How can you reassure the ports of the region about this regard?
Thank you very much. It's a very interesting and very difficult question. So the interesting part of the question is the fact that indeed, when we're talking about the green transition, when we're talking about the Green Deal, we're not only talking about some political aims and aspirations. We are talking about something that will change the way we live also here in the region on a daily basis. What am I talking about? Already now, the companies from Europe that are producing something outside the European Union will need to see how much CO2 was produced, during the time of the production of product. But not only that, also how much of the CO2 was used for the shipping of the product to the final destination. Which means that all of this, with the carbon adjustments and everything else, the carbon adjustment border tax and so on, it will become absolutely crucial that the ports, the transport infrastructure and everything else actually does respond to it. And that's why it is absolutely essential that the entire transport industry, as well as the ports, actually follow that with the availability of alternative fuels and everything else. The cameras are not coming from me, I'm sure. Not so interesting. The second, the financing part. So the financing part is of course a difficult part because indeed a lot of money will be necessary for that. However, what we see is that currently, specifically from the European sources, EIB, EBRD, the European RFIs, there's a lot of funds available specifically for this project. So I am confident that actually the biggest challenge will not be amount of money, but will actually be a mature project. And this is where this is probably one of the biggest challenges that we have in transport sector in this region. So making sure that the projects that are prepared are mature so that they can be actually put to financing and actually then deployed on time and without delays. So a bit of complex answer, but also very complex question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a question from Professor Osman Kara.
Thank you, Edson. First of all, I'd like to thank all the panelists for their presentation. So my question is regarding to the figures. Of course, we see that there is a growing of the traffic in all ports in the region, so tourism is growing fast. In Montenegro, we see a growth of cargo as well. And I think that this growth of cargo is coming faster than the investments on the infrastructure. So, the cargo is coming, the traffic is growing, and there should be a new approach for the connectivity. So, what do you think? Should we have a more common approach toward the increasing connectivity of the region? Because if we do it country by country, it is going to be segmented and it's not going to serve to the logistics of the region. So, I think to foster the traffic and to help the movement of the cargo, we need a common approach to the region. Thank you.
I 100% agree. That's basically my job description. So if we are failing, then I'm failing. So regional approach, the approach of looking at the transport not as a patchwork but as a network is the only way to go. Borders are more or less in that respect irrelevant. And because if we are to profit from the Port of Dures, Port of Var, the Corridor 8, Corridor 10, Danube River, everything else, connection between Adriatic, the Black Sea and beyond, the only way is regional, the only way is international. The 50 kilometers of the rail will never make money in itself. And the small port will never make money in itself. It will not be connected to the rail network, which is connected to the other ports, to the other major cities, points of interest, and so on. And that's why the only way is the regional approach. Now, you said that the things are going too slow. I agree. I mean, we would all wish here, and Deputy Prime Minister is with us, and we are working on daily basis together to speed these things up, so that we can have this reality on the ground yesterday and not in 5-10 years. But you will have to be a bit patient, still stay with us, but I'm sure that you can already see on the ground things are changing as we speak. Thank you.
Now that we have here the Deputy Prime Minister, so I leave the floor to Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Infrastructure.